Hey Jack,
Hey Mark.
you right?
Yeah, good yourself.
Yeah, very good. It's nice. It's always nice to see a friendly face on these sessions.
Yeah, it just came from my LinkedIn. I thought I remember those.
Yeah, they're interesting. The pace just gets faster and faster, mate. I've got 2 minutes per slide. I'm not sure why I held up one finger then, but it's 2 minutes per slide, and yeah, they go pretty quick.
Oh my
Um,
God.
all right, let me say hello to Fiona. Hey Fiona, welcome to the session.
Hello.
Um, so we got hey Fiona. Thank you for joining in good time.
That's all right. It's
Say
easy,
again.
isn't it, once you're on Teams? But
Yeah. You get in. Do you know what? I'm having some trouble with people not coming straight in. I might be a bit distracted while I get people to join just as we start. We've got a few minutes, folks, before we get started. My normal partner in crime isn't here today. Let me just double check. Julie, can you see the screen? Okay. Don't leave me hanging, Julie. You know I do this. You know I pick on people. How about Fiona? Can you see?
yeah,
Oh,
I can see
I'll get a
everything
thumbs up.
absolutely
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right, tell me, folks, can you hear? Just make it as you're some friendly faces. Let me know whether you can hear the audio on this video. Can you hear that?
No,
Okay. Because when it
not
does that,
hearing.
I get an error message telling me that so I'll have to talk over it. Yeah, I get an error message telling me that there's something wrong with the sharing. Oh well, it's only 58 seconds, but it just gives you just a quick overview of some ChatGPT 5 stuff that I'll talk about anyway. Christine Cole, welcome to the call. Hoping Christine can pop off mute and say hi. Maybe Christine can't hear me. You can still hear me, Fiona, yeah?
Yeah, I
Okay,
can
just
hear you.
checking. So maybe Christine, hopefully Christine will realise that we're speaking. And we've got Nicholas. Hey, Nicholas, welcome to the session.
Hiya, how are you?
I'm very well. Yourself?
Yeah, doing well, thank you.
Oh, very good. We've got Samantha Kinstry. Hey, Samantha, how are you? I'm getting away from there. I'm not sure. Someone do me a favour, put a note in the chat. Will someone just quickly say hello to Christine for me? Christine, can you hear us yet?
Yeah,
Yes, you
sorry,
can. Yeah.
I messed around with the settings.
Oh, well, you got sorted there. That's okay. Welcome to the session, Christine. Let's say quickly hello to Gillian. Hey, Gillian. Oh, that scared her off. Let's try Robin instead. So we're going to get started about 1 minute, folks. So, Robin, you able to check in?
Hi.
Hi, welcome to the call. So, folks, so you don't have to put your camera on. It's useful for me because I can just quickly look over and I can see what's going on. I can see some noddy heads and some shaky heads. It's always helpful for me, but you don't have to, of course, and especially as it's lunchtime. If you're lunching, that's cool as well. But folks, I think it's about that time. So, welcome to the August Evergreen update from the Inform team. I'm Mark Thompson, and I'm with you for the next 15 minutes or so. Gillian's saying hello. Okay, so we've got to get started, folks. Just some house rules. Well, I'm going to give you the name of an update, some key points about it, the current release date, but they're often a bit sketchy, but I think you know that already now. Some supporting screenshots. The technical level is end users, super users, champions, team slot owners, and anyone who's just interested in what's coming new. It's not a deep dive. We have literally just 2 minutes per slide, so we go through it quite quickly. What I want you to do is not try to remember everything because you won't be able to. There's just too much. But maybe just make a mental note or a written note or make a note on your PC for something that catches your eye and you want to follow up and have a look at afterwards. Okay. So the chat is open. So it'd be great, folks. If there's an update that you like or one that you're horrified by, it'd be great if you just popped a little comment in there just to see whether you like it or you don't like it, or maybe I'm saying that something's coming soon. Maybe you've already got it. It'd be great to hear that as well. Okay, so just looking at the people who are in, so we've got some more people. We've got Elaine, we got Helen, we got Ali, we got Martin. Okay, let's get properly started, folks. We've got updates for Copilot, OneDrive, Outlook, SharePoint, Teams, and a couple of things from around Microsoft 365. We're going to start with Copilot, and you might have seen this already. GPT-5, hard to say that without saying the chat bit in front of it because it's not chat GPT-5. GPT-5, now available in M365 Copilot chat. So I'm going to run a quick video. I'm going to talk over it. So let's just see what Microsoft are showing about this. So they're saying that it's available across Microsoft 365, and there's two models. Okay, there's a quick reasoning model that'll give you quick answers. They will automatically do a slightly deeper one. Okay, and we'll talk about that in a second. We'll talk about whether you still need to use researcher or not. But you can see that it's just that it's running now, and it's just showing the two sides. Now let's look at the deeper thinking, and this might look and feel a little bit like researcher, but I would say it's like an in-between place. And if you go look at the notes on this and you go and read all about it, it does position this middle option somewhere between the quick answers and full-on researcher. Okay, so what it does is that it automatically decides what it's going to do. You don't have to choose; it will do that automatically. Now, you might find when you go to Copilot on your machine. Look at the screen now. You see we've got this option top right hand corner. It says try GPT-5. When you click it, it changes color and it tells you that it's on. Okay, so you can flick in between it. Let's go see it. Let's see a bit more about it. So this real-time router it talks about, it's high throughput, fast for your quick answers, and then it will do that deeper reasoning. When I looked at the documentation for it, just based on if you just ask it quick questions. Then it'll go the quick route, and then just I guess how complex your request is, then it'll send it to the other route. What about researcher? So they position researcher as still the thing that you need for deep research, and also from a time point of view. Has anyone used researcher in Copilot yet? Don't worry, I'm not going to call you out and get you to tell me all about it. Just a thumbs up, or a thumbs down, or a nodding head, or a shaky head. Yeah. So those of you who've used it, you might be aware that you set it off. And if you're in a hurry, you shouldn't use researcher because you can see it working and it goes and goes and goes, and then the answer takes quite a while to come out as well. So look out for that. There's still a place. This is now creating two tiers, and researcher is still there. Availability. It's available now for license holders, and it has something called priority access. It's coming soon for people who haven't got a Copilot license, but this is standard access. And we're going to talk about those two on another slide. Now, Copilot Studio, if you've got early release, if you've got early access where you work, then you'd already see this in Copilot Studio. If not, it will be coming soon. Okay, we're going to move along, folks. I'm just looking at the chat. Christine said, looking forward to the meeting countdown timer. You should have that already in your meetings, Christine. Go and check that. Go and have it. I'm getting a shaky head now. Okay, so next time you're in a meeting, folks, go and check this out. You're in a big meeting and you want to keep people on track. Click on the three little dots at the top of your meeting, and then you should have access to a countdown timer. But Christine hasn't, so you might not have it yet either. Okay, folks, let's move along. So ChatGPT-5, big news. It just gives you a better quality of answers. Has anyone got any observations about it before we move on? Has anyone feel really strongly about it? And you're like, I want to say this, I love it, or it's rubbish. Any thoughts? Okay, let's see what else we've got. Okay. The Copilot chat prompt box is getting a new tools feature. No, it's interesting how fast all this stuff is moving. I think it was just last month that I told you that researcher was coming here, wasn't it? I said that researcher is getting added to here, but now researcher, in fact, let's click it and let's see what we get. Now researcher is now getting nested inside this tools icon, and we get analyst and designer and pages and other stuff in there. I think you're going to see this appear across where Copilot surfaces elsewhere across 365. I think you're going to see it. So that's due anytime now to the end of the month, but it is going to gobble up these other things. So it's interesting, isn't it? Just 4 weeks ago, I was saying research was going to be there, but it's changing so fast that they're changing things before they're even released. So for people like us who are into it, it's hard enough to keep up, isn't it? So you have to think about our users and our colleagues. It must be really tricky for them. Okay, let's see what else we got. Copilot search, generally available. Is anyone using this already? I'm not going to call you out, folks. Just interested in nodding heads or thumbs up. Okay, so I've seen it, and it looks quite nice. In fact, you can see this is a screenshot. This is one of my screenshots. So when you go into Copilot, look out for. It's in the Copilot app, by the way. Look out for the search option up here. Okay, so you can say, an example you got on the screen there. I said I'm just looking for files with info about 365 updates. So I'm not using the name of the file. Nothing about the person that created it, or I'm not looking for matches on the content. I'm asking it to intelligently interpret my search and go off and find stuff that will help me. Okay, so it's got so it'll find content across M365 and third-party apps that it's got access to, personalized, context-aware based on what you're doing and what you're asking, and as well as traditional search. Underneath, you'll see two sets of answers: the Copilot answer at the top, and you'll see the traditional searches underneath it. You might already have it. So next time you go into the M365 Copilot app, why don't you go top right hand corner and have a look and see if you can try the new search. Depends on your organization. Definitely worth a look because I really like the results. Available for everyone between mid and late August. Okay, so I find myself using voice more and more, certainly on my phone. If I use Copilot on my phone a lot. I know a lot of people like ChatGPT at home, but I kind of think if I'm going to learn one at home, it must be the thing they use at work, right? But I'm forever pressing the audio button and I just ask it my query rather than typing. I'm rubbish at typing, so it works really well for me. But now you're going to be able to have a real-time conversation. So look at the icon. So you might be familiar with that microphone icon. You see that already. But look, this icon tells you that you're now engaging in conversation. So you can interrupt it at any time. You can redirect it. So you'll see that new icon that tells it you want to talk to it. So your mic and your headphones or your speakers. So instead of you reading, you can have that conversation with it. Folks, coming to web, Windows, Mac, and on mobile devices, due from mid-August. Honestly, I'm looking forward to that. Folks, anyone got any thoughts on that one, especially from a usability or accessibility point of view? I'm thinking about.
I think it might just be a more human way of interacting with the bot, if you know what I mean. For some people, yeah, I quite liked it.
Yeah, I agree. Dale certainly Emma who I work with. Really keen on this because you might be doing something, you might be multitasking, but also I think certainly from a usability and accessibility point of view, which is a massive benefit of Copilot, isn't it? I think that would be useful. How about you, Martin? What do you think?
I use this all the time at home, using Google rather than Copilot, but I've not used it for work purposes yet. And I work at home most of the time, so it should be a bit easier. But I can imagine it being quite odd in the office, starting to have a conversation with Copilot. That would seem a bit odd to most people.
Do you know what, Martin? I think that's actually a really good point. It hadn't occurred to me. Yeah, you can't imagine. Or would it just seem like you're on a meeting? Like you just see Mark over there in the corner. Is he talking to? Whether they just think they maybe I'm on a meeting, or I'm having an argument with it, and I'm just asking. I'm like, no, I don't mean that. I mean X, Y, Z. But also, I tell you what. Now you said that, Martin, I'm just smiling. I'm thinking about that person in the office who hasn't got a headset, and they're talking to it, and it's talking back, and they're doing it out loud, and it's like there's working out loud, and then there's that sort of behaviour.
And you keep interrupting it, which you don't try not to do with people, but you do with this.
Yeah,
it starts going down the wrong route, and you have to correct it.
Mark's a bit rude. I don't know who's talking to. Can you imagine it? That's a really good point. Be interested to see how this manifests. Super looking forward to it, and I think from accessibility, working from home, maybe not so much in the office. You're absolutely right, Martin. All right, folks. Let's see what else is going on. So, enhanced Copilot presentation creation quality. Folks, anyone got any feelings about how Copilot can create presentations for you? Has anyone had amazing success with it and it gets it right first time? Or do people find it a little bit lacking? Just looking. I've demonstrated it many times. And you always got to do work on it, haven't you? It's always a bit like you think, it says Sam saying nothing's tried yet. You know what? The results, it gives you like a good first pass. It just gives you the structure. If you're looking at PowerPoint and you don't know where to start, then this is useful. But it's getting better because it has been a bit clunky in the past. So improvements, so a greater depth of content, a nicer flow, the structure, the visual design is meant to be better. It will make better speaker notes for you in the notes section. It will create it and then save it over to your OneDrive. It'll be interesting to see whether organizations have got an issue with it doing that, or that's okay. But folks, we're looking forward to this. Due mid to late August, I create plenty of presentations, but I've got to be honest, I don't use Copilot for it. I find it's a little bit lacking, and I guess other people have, and that's why they've done this work. So look out for that, folks. Look out for better presentations by the end of the month. And if you don't use it because you think it's a bit rubbish, it might be worth another look at the end of the month. Okay, I feel like I've been talking about this one forever. So Copilot's suggesting some files. You can see on the left-hand side, the old experience. Wouldn't it be nice sometimes just to be able to filter them a little bit, just filter just by PowerPoint or Word, my results there. So that's coming, but it seems to be dragged on for a long time, doesn't it? So hopefully by any day now. This looks quite nice. Copilot Chat supporting new file types, CAD, zip, and MP4. So we should have that by mid-September. Now, I probably should have done a full slide for this one. And this is probably worth your attention, and maybe you're making a note of and going and just doing some reading as homework after the session. Standard and priority access to Copilot capabilities. Priority is going to go to people who have an M365 license, and the standard access is going to be people who don't have a Copilot 365 license, but you still have Copilot Chat. And you might have seen from previous sessions that the free version of Copilot and those capabilities are creeping into more and more of the apps, even for people who don't have a Copilot license. So it's Microsoft is starting to loosen who has access to features, but of course that adds load on their servers. So people with standard access, people at work who don't have a license, are going to see a message periodically saying that the resources are busy. They say they won't interrupt anything that's already working, but just be aware that your help desks might get some calls saying, Copilot isn't working for me. That's because they've turned on this 2-tier of service. Folks, maybe worth you having a read of that. Get a quick search and you'll be able to find it. And that's due by the end of the month. Copilot Chat offering meeting series selection. So the context IQ, when you see context IQ, when you're chatting to Copilot and you do the little / and then it does the context and it offers you things. So when you do a little / you can use a whole series of meetings rather than just one. Just a nice little change, but that's available to you now. Okay, we're getting close to wrapping up Copilot. Just a quick one, Copilot Pages. The file extension is going away from .loop, and it's getting a new icon as well. So you just might see that new icon appearing. Researcher being added to Copilot notebooks. We mentioned Researcher earlier. It is fantastic. If you haven't used it yet, it does such deep work, and it'll talk to you and it'll clarify some points. So it does some really, really nice work. That's going to be added to your Copilot notebooks by the end of the month. And another one that seems like it's been knocking around for a while, the ability to ground your Copilot prompts. You might have this now, actually. I certainly have it, but some people might not. And just being able to ground easier on certain sites and in OneDrive, just make it a little bit easier to ground or narrow down the results that you are getting. Now, let's look at Copilot Future. For those of you who don't know, this icon here talks about, these are from the 365 roadmap. It's looking a bit further out. The details are really sketchy. So you have to just take it with a pinch of salt. Filtering your conversation history. So you go into the Copilot app, you go into Copilot, and you can see your conversations on the left-hand side, can't you? Super useful. It shows the prompts that you've asked previously, and it shows all the results that they're waiting for you. But wouldn't it be great to be able to filter that? That, folks, is coming by the end of the month. And thinking about the thing that we're talking about there, the previous one, talking with Dale and Martin, the conversations. For the Copilot app on Windows, you're going to be able to say, "Hey Copilot," and that will trigger Copilot to start a conversation with you. Be interesting to see how that manifests in the workplace. But certainly it is coming. But let's just see how that looks. Probably tell you more about that next time. And I can't wait for this. The expanded input box in Copilot Chat. You're only going to get a few lines in there, can't you? And it's just it'd be nice to be able to see more of what you're writing rather than that little tiny letterbox. So the chat box is going to get bigger. Right. Lists and context IQ. I told you about context IQ. So just to clarify, it sounds a bit technical, doesn't it? And it might be something that you just, if you're not sure about, you go and check, do a little / and then you start to offer you stuff. It's going to start offering you Microsoft Lists content as well. I'm going to pause a breath. Folks, anyone got any comments or observations about that Copilot stuff? Busy Copilot time, isn't it? When a company is superseding features before they even come out, you know times are busy. Folks, anyone hate anything there? Anyone really like anything? Let me just go and check in with somebody. Vicky, you okay with all that content?
I am. I like the search feature. I didn't notice that was there till just now.
Yeah. Oh, have you got it, Vicky?
I do, yeah. Just
great.
tried it out to find a document I was struggling to find, and it got it straight away. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Sometimes these features come and go, don't they? I mean, we talk about features, but isn't it nice when one is instantly useful to people? So go and check that out, folks. Like Vicky just checked out that search over on the Copilot app, and it is really useful. It's not just search; it's Copilot search. Expanded chat window, Andrew. I am with you. I'll probably tell you about more of that next month. I'm really looking forward to that, and that whole chat thing as well. Okay, a couple of quick ones for OneDrive. So you know that if you go to a share, I apologize for the screenshot, by the way. You know that if you go to SharePoint, you can sync things over in SharePoint with your OneDrive. Microsoft is sort of demoting that a little bit. So they're hiding that function underneath the overflow menu and promoting the ability to add shortcuts to OneDrive. I was talking about this on Monday, and someone told me about one of their colleagues who were syncing a SharePoint site, and they thought, I don't need that link anymore, so I'm just going to delete it, along with 8,000 documents. So I think promoting the shortcut is maybe a better one to do. 365 Copilot is one that's in the future. Your Copilot notebooks, slow down a little bit, Copilot notebooks, the ability to create an audio overview of that and then push it into your OneDrive. So it might be that you've been doing loads of research and you've got all your notebook stuff, and maybe you want to listen to it on the way home, or just listen to it while you're doing something else, just to absorb all the information. You could get that audio overview, push it into your OneDrive, and then listen to it at your leisure. On hold, I was telling you about this, the ability in OneDrive to get a document and export it as a PDF. So Microsoft have said they are putting this on hold, and there's no date available, and they just said, yeah, we'll just come back to this. I wonder whether this is something to do with Adobe. And I don't know this, by the way, but whenever I go into my documents in OneDrive, I often see there's some Adobe options on there aren't there? They've got a lot closer, Microsoft and Adobe. I wonder whether this was seen to be treading on Adobe's toes a little bit. I don't know. Anyway, so I know that you can still open your document and you can save it as a PDF, but this exporting it as one has been put on hold with no date. If it comes back, folks, I will tell you. Before we move along to Outlook, I've got such an interesting one in Outlook for you. Before we go to Outlook, any questions or comments? Okie dokie. We've got a couple of people with their cameras on. It's so helpful, folks. If you're sitting there thinking, I've finished my lunch, maybe I will put my camera on. I'm not going to pick on you, but it's just so helpful just for you, that little bit of feedback. You get a noddy head or a smile. It's super useful. Okay, Outlook. Copilot chat to summarize emails for unlicensed users. How complicated is this getting for work environments now? Copilot summarizing emails for unlicensed users. Now, this didn't come with a screenshot, so I've kind of had to make one up. So you got an email thread, and you open the Copilot chat, which is coming to Outlook, even if you don't have a license, and it's been described as a single click method to summarize your emails, and it's going to be up here somewhere. I apologize, I don't have a live one. I'll revisit it next month if I get it. But a couple of things that are interesting to me. It's described as a single click way to summarize emails. It's coming to Classic Outlook as well as New Outlook. I thought that was interesting as well. And it's for licensed and unlicensed users. When that actually lands, that's the sort of thing that I will have a quick look at and then maybe revisit with people who I look after and support. But the whole unlicensed thing, the people who are unlicensed getting more and more features, is really interesting. Anybody seen this yet? Just going to pause. So the reason I've revisited this, you might have seen this maybe last year, but I'm bringing it back for two reasons, and you'll see in a second. Okay, so in Outlook, so I've had a look. I've had a look in a couple of places where I work, and it's available. So you go into New Outlook or Outlook on the web, and you have this new icon on the left-hand side, and it allows you to create a newsletter. Built-in tools to manage and track reader engagement. So it might be that myself and Annie and Nicholas were working together on something, and we can actually collaborate in the same document. I guess a bit like you could collaborate on a Word document that's in SharePoint or OneDrive. Now, here's the interesting part: people can discover and subscribe to your newsletters. It might be that Gillian does a newsletter for their area of work. Now people can subscribe to it. It might be that it's a bit of a niche topic and you're not sure who's interested. Your updates might be interesting to lots of people, and people can subscribe. Now, here's what's changed from last time this turned around. It's now enabled by default. So if your organization doesn't want people to create newsletters, they've got to disable it. It's come around really quickly. And here's the other thing. Mid to late August, it wasn't due till September. So it's come early, and they've enabled it by default. Now, I really like the look of this. I do wonder whether, though, everyone should be allowed to create them, because I can picture lots of orphaned newsletters where people have started it, moved on, or lost interest, or just didn't have time, and people are subscribing. You've got all these newsletters to subscribe to. How do you control the quality? On Monday, when I spoke to a large group of people about this, the comedy type people in there were horrified. Folks, any thoughts on this? Anyone looking at this and thinking, this is going to be amazing for my work? Or is anyone looking at this thinking, I just don't want this in my place? Yeah.
I think I'd have to see it in action to make a call on it personally. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I agree. How about you, Nicola?
You brought this up, I was thinking, oh, that looks great. That's going to use third-party platforms to be able to do that. That's going to save us an awful lot of time. But then as you moved on, the governance around some of that and the data behind the scenes that this could create is caused me a lot of concern. But let's just see what it looks like and what controls we can put in place in the back end.
I agree, Nicola, and that's a good point. Actually, it might be that the organisations are looking at their third-party tools and thinking, you know what, maybe we could save some money here. But like Nicola says, there's plenty of opportunity there for it to create headaches. You want to know where are they stored, where they live, where's the list, where's that's kept. Think about e-discovery or the governance, all that sort of stuff. So there's probably it's probably quite a big piece. I'm surprised they turned this on by default. It doesn't feel, even though I'm enthusiastic about it, it doesn't feel like a turned on by default thing. Good features, need governance locally, enable access, selected users. Andrew, I'm with you. I think it should have been, you can do selected users, by the way, but I think that's how it should have rolled out. All right, folks, we spent enough time on that, and we are about 90 seconds behind, so we need to get a wiggle on. A quick one: summarize email attachments with Copilot in Classic Outlook for Windows. You might be familiar with this already, but the ability to summarize a file. So you've got attachments. So you're thinking maybe Nicola has been sent several great big long proposals over the weekend or while they're off, and you think, I don't have time to read all of this. You can get it to summarize the attachments without you even opening them. How useful is that? It's interesting they're pushing more of the Copilot stuff into Classic Outlook. I guess they've got to decide: do we want to push people to New Outlook, or do we want people to use Copilot? And I think they've gone for the latter, haven't they? Let's see what else we've got. Copilot Researcher Agent coming to Microsoft Word. I checked this before we came on. I don't have that icon, but what I can do is that I can mention Researcher. So in Microsoft Word, in the chat on the right hand side, so I can mention it, even though the icon isn't there. So if you're thinking, I want to use Researcher while I'm looking at this document, then just try that, and try that as well. Try exploring, next time using Copilot, explore the little curly out sign and mention these apps and see whether they work for you. So I'll tell you what, I'd be interested to see whether actually that gets superseded by the toolkit that we saw earlier, whether that just gets rolled into toolkit and the toolkit gets added here instead. Create a meeting from an email thread in Copilot in Outlook Mobile. Talked about this last month. been pushed back a little bit. So you're looking at an email thread. It might be that that Martin Simmons, you've got a big email thread, and you think, oh, I've got to speak to you people about this. It will spin up a meeting for you, create an agenda based upon the email thread. Everyone is involved in that. They'll get invited. It'll help you find a time for it. So this is on mobile. How good is that, though? I think that looks great. So look out for that, folks. If you haven't got it already, you should have it by the end of the month. Copilot proactive drafts. Okay, so just a few notes on this. It might be that Jill Jones, you're maybe you're not an Outlook first person. Maybe you're Teams first person, and you can get Copilot in Outlook to do proactive drafts. So it will say to you, it will identify. You have to turn it on. It will tell you which of your emails are urgent, what needs addressing, and it will suggest responses for you. I kind of like that, just to get you past first base. I do worry about people just going yes, 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 and then just firing off this AI generated stuff without double checking it. I really like it, but I just don't want to receive too many of those emails that people haven't checked first. Not so good with shared mailboxes, though. True. Folks, any Outlook comments before we go and have a look at what's going on over in SharePoint? Only a quick one for SharePoint. Okie dokie. So when I tell you what's interesting, folks. When I read the admin center, I go to the admin center and I read the updates most days. They seem to be getting more ambiguous, and I don't know why it is. Someone commented on one of my posts on LinkedIn, and they were frustrated at that ambiguity. They seem to be getting more ambiguous, less detailed. I don't know whether it's because the product teams are under more pressure, or whether they're pushing the information out before it's completely cooked. I don't know. And this is one of those updates. So it might be that Andrew Reynolds, you're creating a SharePoint page and you want to add a video to it, but the video is in a different site, and you've got access to the other site. You said video, and to make sure that people can access your content, you're going to start seeing this dialog box. So Microsoft say one or both of these dialog boxes, but they don't say why or when. So I'd be interested in the chat if anyone knows the answer to this and you're like, oh, I know the difference. Anyway, one or both. And it'll say, do you want to create a sharing link for this video? So a sharing link will be in your page, and that's what people will be using to access it. Or do you want to copy this video to your area? Like I said, I don't know why it'd be one or the other. But something to be aware of, your workflow might be interrupted, and then just be a little bit careful. If you've seen these, it might be that maybe you just need to double check the video and make sure it's okay for you to share it with your audience. Folks, that's available now. A couple of quick ones. Using Copilot in SharePoint, the FAQ web part is powered by Copilot. You need it to create this FAQ. You can point it off towards your content or a page or whatever, and you create an FAQ, add it to your page. You don't need a license to look at it. Folks, that's available now. Page analytics in SharePoint is getting a massive boost. It's been delayed a little bit, so due mid-August to mid-September. Lots more information. It goes back way further. Lots of different metrics. But the catch is you need a couple of different Viva licenses that you need for that. So if you're someone who looks after an intranet, then maybe do a bit of research and just have a look, do a quick bit of research on that. Make sure you've got the correct license because they're really expanding the metrics for you. Okay, so sections with Copilot. So I'll talk about this probably next month. Creating whole sections of SharePoint pages. For those of you who don't know, when you look at a SharePoint page, it's all beautifully laid out. Behind the scenes, it's kind of scaffolded. There's all these different sections and there's all these little parts of where you put content. But you can create whole sections with Copilot. I'm looking forward to seeing how that looks. I just hope that the people who use it keep the quality up. Folks, that's the end of SharePoint. We've got quite a long section coming up on Teams, so I'm just going to catch my breath, have a sip of water. Any observations before we do? Okay. Microsoft Teams introducing a redesigned workflows experience. So it's not changing. If you go and look at workflows now, if you go into Teams and you do a search for workflows, it just feels a bit clunky, right? So you might remember, I don't know, a couple of years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago, Power Automate Teams got rebranded workflows, didn't it? And I wanted it to be a little bit friendlier and a little bit easier to use. Anyway, it's getting this new look, and it's just a little bit nicer. You can see how it looks there. So when the landing page, it just looks a bit nicer. The templates, when you have a look at it, instead of being down the left hand side and the categories, which are a little bit confusing, they've simplified the categories. A much nicer experience. So it'll be interesting to see whether your colleagues start using them a little bit more. Microsoft said you can create powerful automations in just 3 steps or fewer. Folks, the redesign is due from October. If you don't know what I'm talking about, what is workflows, why don't you go and check them out and then have a look at the templates, and it'll give you an idea of some of the things that it can do. When I talked about this on Monday, a couple of people on there said they use them all the time. Other people had never heard of them. So maybe after the session, folks, go and check that out. Okay, I can slow down a little bit. 33 minutes in, we're exactly on time. New filters and sorting for Teams meeting attendance reports. I'm going to be quick on this. It's a bit niche. I asked people on a previous call, can anyone think of a use for this? And one of them said they have to report on their attendance on a recurring meeting, and people keep starting it by accident. So you've got all these occurrences of the meeting having started, but only one person, they started for a few seconds, realize they made a mistake, and they come back out. So there you go, you can actually filter it. So a little bit niche, but someone on the previous call did say that it's really useful for them. So you can filter on a minimum number of attendees, and you're going to get a little bit an easier way of filtering by date. And at a glance there, you can see. So that one at the bottom, that 1150, it looks to me like someone clicked that by accident. But folks, if that's of interest to you, it's due at the end of the month. Intelligent recap in Teams to include supporting screenshots. So when you look at when you have the intelligence recap and it's going through it, I'm quite visual, folks, so I think this will be super useful. Let me just zoom in on this a little bit. So you can see there the thing that was being talked about, what was on the screen at the time, to support your recollection and just make a bit more sense to you. It's going to start including those screenshots. Now, it says it requires a Microsoft 365 Copilot license. Now, this feature is also, the intelligent recap is also part of Teams Premium. I couldn't work out whether this is going to be included in Teams Premium or not. So if you've got Teams Premium people, this may or may not be coming to them. Honestly, I couldn't work it out if I'm honest, but it's certainly coming if you're Copilot. Does anyone ever look at their calendar and find that there's more than one invitation or more than one event at the same time? Just a thumbs up if that applies to you. Do you look at your calendar and you've got more than one? So I spent 2.5 years at a government department, and one of the people that I worked with there, they were responsible for multiple projects. So they'd get invited to all the updates, everything to do with it. And of course, they can't go to all of them, but they would go to whatever's on fire or whatever they need to know about. They would go to that one at a time. Now, this is going to help you out if you're one of those people. So you're going to get this this join bar that's going to pop up, and it's going to show all of your meetings that are happening now. And right from here, you can let people know whether you're attending or whether you're not, or you can join right from this window. It's for meetings that you've said yes or you're tentative. So it gives you a choice. So I have this now. If you go into your settings, you see this option here, and you can turn on your join bar. You could go and check that out. It's available to you now. Go and have a look, folks, in your settings and go turn on that join bar if you have multiple meetings at the same time. Okay, here's one that's a little bit more light-hearted. Customize your Teams experience by choosing an accent color. So the accent color, if you look at the screen here, it's all the little bits, the thing that the app that's active, this indicates here that we're on a meeting, the little lines that go across, just all the little details that show what's active or what's a link and that sort of thing. Makes no difference to functionality, but you can go and check it out. Go and have a look in your team settings, appearance, and you can just customize your teams, and it's only for you, and it's just a personal thing. I'm quite visual. I really like this update, and if you haven't got it yet, you should have it by the end of the month. Has anyone already done that? Has anyone already discovered that and thought, I'm going to make Teams my own? Yeah, shake your head. Go and check it out, folks. It just makes your workplace yours. Catch that, Sam. Okay, new option to pin the Teams app bar. So I'm going to be real quick on this because it's only it's pretty niche. I quite often find myself with Teams on one side of the screen and something on the other, and I'm working between the two. And the thing that gets sacrificed, look at the left-hand side of my screen there, is the app bar. So the app bar often goes away. So if it does, you end up with this little hamburger menu here. If you right-click on it, it's not obvious. If you right-click on it, you can tell it to stop disappearing. Okay, so pretty niche. I've turned it on because I find it useful because I'm always making my teams more narrow, have it on one side of the screen. But if that bar disappearing is a pain, you can now set that to stay. Okie dokie. New comfort notification size is coming to Teams. So just a reminder, in case you don't know, you can already move your notifications around your screen. Now you can change the size. Let's just have a look at this. Bill else found that join bar in their settings, so go and check that out, folks, if you haven't found it yet. Look at this. I've gone into my team settings, click three little dots. I've gone into notifications and activity, and I can change this over to compact. You can see there, I just flick between the two, and it just makes the notifications a little bit smaller. So go and check that out, folks. Put the notifications where you want them and change the size if you want to as well. Just a couple of random things here. Teams is getting a network strength indicator. This has been around for ages. You might find yourself on a call sometimes where the presenter's glitching a little bit, and you're not sure whether it's the presenter or it's your network that's a problem, and you don't want to ask in case it's only you because no one else has said anything. Well, you'll be able to see, because it's going to show the network strength of the people who are on the call with you. Now, it's been pushed back. I wonder whether it's been pushed back because of a privacy issue. Is it a privacy? I can imagine like the Workers' Council in Germany maybe having a view on this. I don't know. Anyway, surprisingly how far this has been pushed back. Meeting audio overview will create a summary of multiple Teams meetings. This has been pushed back so much as well. It's a little bit hidden. You have to go into Teams, go into the Meet app, and then in there you can select multiple meetings, and it'll give you an overview. It might be that that Ali, you're catching up with meetings. Maybe you want to get yourself some lunch. You can select multiple meetings, and it will give you an audio overview of all of those meetings in one go while you do this other thing. Push back again sometime in September. Okay, so file summary in Teams chat. So we're having a chat, and I don't know, maybe Annie sends a document over. Instead of me having to open it, that feature I talked about in Outlook earlier, the ability to get a summary of a file without opening it, that is coming into Microsoft Teams chat. Looking forward to that. I think that'll be a nice little time saver. And this is available for your organization now. Some of us work in large organizations who love acronyms, and there's all sorts of abbreviations or acronyms or just whatever. And not surprisingly, Copilot is going to struggle with those a little bit. You have the ability now to create and add custom dictionaries for Microsoft Teams. So think about Microsoft Teams, think about all the content that's in there, think about your meetings, your transcripts, and that's then used by Copilot, isn't it? So that's been available for a little while. If you're not aware of that, it has to be done by your organization, by an admin, but I think that's going to be a really useful feature for some people. Okay. I'm interested in the chat if this means anything to you. So I haven't used SQL for the longest time, and I can't speak intelligently about it. But SQL-like commands are coming to the search bar in Teams. In fact, Stu August, I did try this, and and it works. So you can put from, with, in, is. So the file type, if you put is, then it starts. It lists out all the options. So it's the colon that activates it. So from, with, in, is. Do the colon, and then it starts making all sorts of suggestions for you. Does anyone look at this and think, I know SQL, I can use that. This is going to make sense to me? I'm going to move along then, because it doesn't make a lot of sense to me either. But it's a bit niche, but hopefully it's of useful to somebody. Search for meetings. Search bar at the top. Instead of you having to go through your calendar, you'll be able to use more natural language to find certain meetings, and right from there you can interact with them, join them. You can go into the chat, look at the content that's shared. So look out for that on the search bar as well. I'll tell you more about it next month. Remember, this icon tells you that this is from the 365 roadmap, and the details are pretty sketchy. Meeting recaps, sharing a meeting recap straight to SharePoint. I'm not sure I'd want to do that without checking it, but you share your meeting recaps. You can push that straight off to SharePoint. I'll tell you more about that next month. Pausing for breath. Let me just check in with somebody. Helen Fox, you okay with that content? Oh yeah, getting a thumbs up, folks. Anyone got any questions or comments about that team stuff? Is anyone any highlights there for people? We could have a quick look through. What have we got? I think the join bar. I think actually when I did a poll over at a large government organisation for this set of updates, it was that join bar that was the highlight for people. Did you miss the Copilot news? You did. It was the first 10 or 15 minutes, but you can watch the recording. But you did miss it, I'm afraid. Okay, we're getting close to wrapping up, folks. Let's have a look at what's going on around Microsoft 365. So, researcher agent is coming to Word. So I talked about that earlier, didn't I? So it's going to have this icon here. It's going to come into Word. It'll be interesting to see. Research is fantastic. I've waxed lyrical about it already. Be interested to see whether actually this happens, or does it get superseded by that toolbox. If you want to use it now in other locations, remember you can do app mention, and you can use researcher in places that's not obvious. Copilot license required for that. Mid-August, we'll see. We'll see whether that appears. Be interested to see if anyone's already got that, but I certainly don't. Okay. External workbook. I'm going to have to say this slowly. External workbook links to blocked file types will be disabled by default. So this is in Excel. So workbook links to blocked file types are going to be disabled by default. I've got to be honest, it's blocked anyway. I'm not sure why you now need to disable the link as well, but I guess better safe than sorry. That's coming at the well, actually it's got a whole year that's going to roll out. I guess thinking about Excel on the desktop, different organizations have very different rollouts, don't they? A bit niche, but that matters to you. Be aware of it. Copilot Chat is coming to M365 apps users without a Copilot license. I talked about this previously. So we're talking about Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. So the chat down the side. So I've seen this on a government organisation I'm doing some work with. It is appeared on there. If it's not there yet, it will be there June to September. I can see this causing some confusion by users not knowing whether I've now got this in Word. Can the chat down the side talk to the content of the document, or is it just a resource because it's grounded on the internet? It's just a resource that I've got on a side pane there. Just be aware of that, folks. I suspect that's going to create a little bit of confusion. Martin's added a good point there. So we're talking about the web version. So thank you, Martin. Okay. Copilot Word to fix all spelling grammar. So you got a Word document. If your spelling is anything like mine, you may have a few suggestions for corrections. You can just select it all and fix everything with Copilot Word. Last time I checked, just a few days ago, I didn't have it, but we should have it any time now. And if anyone uses reuse slides, the reuse slides button in PowerPoint, that's been deprecated. There's a lot of this going on. Microsoft's seen how bent on getting anything that's not really well used. They seem to be chopping a lot of stuff off. This sign at the bottom, that's not like my generic "we're losing something" icon. I've seen that more in the last 9 months than I have in maybe the last 2.5 years. They are definitely things that people don't use. They're definitely getting rid of it if it needs any kind of maintenance. Okay, so I'm interested to see what you think of these updates. So maybe could someone just let me know whether that has appeared on the screen for you? Can you see that? Okay, be interested what people. So let me just submit. So let me see what people are liking. Okay, so either in the chat, folks, on your screen, you can say which of these is your favorite update. So Copilot Chat will support new file types for grounding. That's just got the first vote. And sharing video on SharePoint, that change. The intelligent recap to include supporting screenshots. For the visual amongst us, I agree, that is really nice. The research agent are coming to Word. Research agent is great, folks. You got to try it out if you haven't yet. Okay, so M365 Copilot search generally available, coming soon. Oh, that's just lost its place. The real-time voice conversation with Copilot is now taking the lead. So you can select more than one, folks, I believe. So if you don't agree with what the favorite one is, feel free to change it. So the real-time voice is the current winner. Okie dokie. Okay, folks. we're approaching the end of our time together. Let us know what you think of sessions. Afterwards, you'll be emailed. Get in touch if we can help you. Sign up and join next month. The content is different every month. Look out for our series of Copilot webinars as well. If you just go check out our website, look at webinars. We've got lots of Copilot focused at the moment. Webinars coming up. Okay, folks. Does anybody have any questions or comments, observations? Anyone feel really strongly about anything that we've looked at today that you'd like to share with the group? I'll take that as a no. Got some shaky heads. Okay, folks, I just want to thank you for coming to the session. I know that it's pretty tricky with your work and whatever you're doing, and you might be giving up your lunch break, or you've got to juggle some work around. So really grateful that you come to the session, folks. Hopefully that was helpful to you. Let us know if we can help you. The recording will come out soon, so you can do a recap. But for now, folks, we're done. I want to thank you all for your time, and hopefully I'll see you next month. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
You're
Bye.
very welcome, folks.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Bye bye.
You're welcome.